Have you ever wondered how to make the perfect red velvet cake? The allure of this classic dessert lies within its rich, vibrant hue and the delightful contrast of its tangy cream cheese frosting. In this video, we're going to take you on a culinary journey, unraveling the mysteries of this Southern American gem. We'll cover a step-by-step recipe, providing tips and tricks to help you create the most divine red velvet cake. So, stay tuned if you want to become the ultimate red velvet cake baker. First things first, gather all the ingredients you need. In the world of baking, precision is key, so let's get everything right. You'll need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. Then you will need 1½ cups of granulated sugar to add that sweet touch. A teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda will give our cake the perfect rise. Don't forget the cocoa powder, you'll need a teaspoon of that too. Now let's move on to the wet ingredients. You'll need 1½ cups of vegetable oil, 1 cup of buttermilk, and 2 large eggs. Then comes the star of the show, 2 tablespoons of red food coloring to give our cake its signature color. Add a teaspoon of vanilla extract for that extra depth of flavor. And of course, we can't forget the cream cheese frosting. That's going to be our delicious finishing touch. Now that we have everything ready, it's time to start baking. The secret to a great red velvet cake lies in the mixing process. So let's dive into the art of mixing, shall we? The first step is to combine our dry ingredients. That's our all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and a dash of cocoa powder. We mix these together until they're well incorporated, creating a base that's going to give our cake its structure and texture. Next, we turn our attention to the wet ingredients. We're talking about vegetable oil, buttermilk, eggs, our vibrant red food coloring, and a splash of vanilla extract. These ingredients need to be whisked together until they're fully blended. This mixture is going to bring moisture and richness to our cake, not to mention that beautiful red color and hint of vanilla flavor. Now here's where the magic happens. We gradually combine our wet and dry ingredients, stirring gently to avoid overmixing. The goal here is to create a smooth, velvety batter. This is the heart of our red velvet cake after all. It's essential to take the time to mix well at this stage. Remember, patience is a virtue, especially in baking. As we stir, we see the red and brown hues meld together, creating that iconic red velvet color. It's quite a sight, isn't it? And just like that, with a little care and a lot of love, our batter is ready. With our batter looking lush and smooth, it's time to pour it into our cake pans. Now we're ready for the heat. Preheating the oven is a crucial step in baking. It allows our cake to rise properly and cook evenly. For our red velvet cake, we want to preheat our oven to a cozy 350° F or 175° C for those using Celsius. Once the oven is heated, it's time to bake. We'll be popping our batter-filled cake pans into the oven, setting a timer for 25 to 30 minutes. This is the perfect amount of time for our cake to bake to perfection, but not so long that it dries out. Patience is key here, folks. While our cake is baking, it's important to resist the urge to open the oven door. This can cause the temperature to drop and affect the baking process. Instead, we'll use the tried-and-true toothpick test. If you insert a toothpick into the center of the cake and it comes out clean, then it's done. After a patient wait, our cake is ready to come out of the oven. A red velvet cake is incomplete without its signature cream cheese frosting. It's like the cherry on top, the last note in a symphony, the final stitch in a tapestry. Now let's get into the how-tos of frosting this beauty. Begin with a cooled cake. Patience is key here. A hot cake can melt your frosting, resulting in a less than perfect finish. Spread a thin layer of frosting on the top of one layer, then carefully place the second layer on top. This is called the crumb coat. It catches any loose crumbs and sets the stage for a smooth final layer. Next, generously coat the entire cake with frosting, ensuring to cover the sides evenly. Use a spatula or a butter knife to spread the frosting, creating a smooth and even layer. Take your time with this step. It's where your cake really starts to shine. And there you have it, a perfect red velvet cake. Happy baking!